and go from there. Anyway, so I'm going to try to tell the story about Marathon, where we were back in 2016 when I joined IT, and what we have been doing until today, and where we're going moving forward on basically master data management. So I want to give a little bit of the story, the history here. Let me switch to more excited. So we have some. We had already a web data management system built 10 years ago by ourselves, and there was a bunch of challenges, and I know other companies are facing the same, and they're trying to get away with that. One of the challenges we had with our legacy system was it was custom built using consultants. There was no relationship between well-identified between other systems and our system. And it was well more centered by means that there was no completion attached to it, so it was only well. Also, we lacked of leverage for integration and support. So once the developers went away, or 2015 when the oil crashed, then it's really hard to go and develop again new things because the knowledge went away. Also, we found some issues in how, and this is I'm not discovering warm water here, but you know, how the state agencies uses the APIs to kind of think of the system, and it's not reliable. Also, we found that there's potential issues and gaps in how we manage our data in permitting stage, and basically everything that is pretty real all the way to planning. And also, how was the data accessible for the assets and everybody in the company? I don't care if you work in accounting, if you're the CEO, or you're an admin, you should be able to access our own data. So the value that we had at that point was really limited for the assets. Hence, it failed. So based on this, Marathon said, okay, what is our vision? And we wanted to create an environment for well data that is complete, current, comprehensive, and we can do quality checks. It's never going to be perfect at the beginning, but you have to keep going and working together. So we needed to establish a platform for consistent data management. That was the number one rule that we had. So we have to start checking what are our requirements. So that was the first one. Then we need to leverage and automate data across the company and other systems. And I think that's one of the most important things, automation. That's where everybody should be going. We need to establish effective data governance. And in this case, we wanted to establish data governance in how the data is blending, is basically rules. Which system is the source of record for that attribute? That's what it means, data governance here. To me, data governance is beyond that. And we can have a separate discussion only on data governance. We also wanted to have data quality that is consistent, because garbage in, garbage out, right? For data analytics, I mean, Spotify, people start using Spotify and start creating their own reports. Oh, I want to info link to that database, and they don't even know, and they're not sure if that data is actually clean. So that's another one of the issues that we have. So we wanted to provide this as a basically master web repository. We also wanted to create a unique well identifier, and we call it MUI because it's Marathon Unique Well Identifier. Another will call it AWI, Apache, I think AWI too. Han call it UI, and that's kind of the deal. We also want to help us manage data of all the stages of the life cycle of a well, from planning, permitting, drilling, production, completion, abandonment, selling the well, everything. Again, develop automation, and we also need a sponsorship from the highest level of management. And this is key, but we were having just a conversation, I don't see, but we were talking about how you leverage the executive and to buy into this. And probably that's not that difficult. once they start realizing the importance of this. The problem is like the information, the communication going down, the change of command. And it goes one level, and then the next level might not get all the information, and then the next level probably doesn't get much. And then when you're working laterally with a lower level, one level, a few supervisors, and then it doesn't go all the way up. So there's always some gap there. That's always the challenge. So back in May 2016, that's where basically we have our legacy welfare data for wellboards only, and it was basically integrated with WellView, our drilling completion in a package, and some attributes were flowing to areas, and you can see the arrows are showing basically if it is dual, bidirectional or one direction only at that time. And with program, which was our production data, and you can see program was only sending data to our legacy. So this is how we started. Before that, the software PPDM basically that we basically build a partnership with EnergyIQ, and we're trying to help develop and with other companies to try to make it better in all instances. So TDM, it was implemented in Marathon to migrate all the recall data. So we just recall, migrate all the data that we had at that point in TDM. So then I took, in May 2016, the software and said, okay, what can we do to replace this? So we needed to at least, as a phase one, to replace what is WellView, Aries, and Proton. But also with the vision of hitting other systems and other data types. At the end of the day, we want to serve for analytics, build dashboards, help with planning tools, mapping tools, GIS. So this is how we started. So we focus only on these three. Then the current phase, this is where we're working right now. And we're permanently working also on these ones too, because you want to enhance. People start asking, they start seeing the value, they're going, oh, can we get the financial data into Aries? Sure, I mean, it's one thing at a time, but that happens. And of course, future phase is land, and it's still their future because we're migrating to another land system, so I'm waiting for them to finish. I want to be connected to something that's going to go away in a few months. So phase one, what we did was we built integration between TDM and systems like WellView, Program, and Aries. All bidirectional except for Aries right now. We only wanted to send data to Aries, and the main reason was because there's a program to Aries interface that we didn't want to overlap, so we were careful on that. We determined and prioritized the attributes by system of records, basically. Oh, sorry. Here. So we basically went attribute by attribute, and we're talking about 60 on phase one attributes that we were working. And you name it, for state, country, status, well name, well completion name, coordinates. And we basically put rankings, which is basically a system of record to create the golden record of a well. Then we configure TDM as a corporate well master. We migrate all the data from that legacy system. We perform data cleanup at least for 3 months, and we're still cleaning up data. Don't underestimate cleaning data. Then we implemented the unique well identifier in all the systems. So now, I always say, this is the social security number of a well. I want this to be in every system from the moment that a geologist or an engineer or any scientist put an idea on a map. I want to drill this stick. That's where, to me, a well in conception or in inception is born. And that's when we need to put that unique well identifier, or this, I call it a social security number sometimes. And then we try to follow that all the way. There's some challenges, because when you start getting the ACI number, you won't get it until the permit is approved. So certain systems, you're going to have some disconnections there, but things that you need to work out. And also, we wanted to have some data governance again, create some standards within the application itself, build some relations with the assets and have application owners on each asset. So that way you work close with them to make decisions about how are we going to decide which is the system of record for each attribute. So this is not me making the decision, now the responsibility is shared. And also to foster accountability. So you start showing the asset that their data sucks, I bet you they're going to start seeing, okay, we need to do something about it. And also, once they start seeing this, they want to see that they see the power of the integration, and they want to move away from Access databases and Excel spreadsheets and things like that, which is hard, but it takes time. So right now, TDM is Marathon All Well Master Repository. In our case, it integrates well data from multiple sources systems as today. It blends the data to build the golden record, that's how we call it, which is I always say, the most trusted, but you can trust as much as your data is clean in the source system. That's how I tell to accounting and to production people, reading, sometimes, well, that data is wrong. Well, it's wrong because you have it wrong in the older system, so it's not my fault. I'm just exposing the data to you. But it's fine, I always take the blame, I don't care, let me know and I'm going to fix it. And the only thing we own, or TDM owns, in our case in Marathon, is to generate the unique well identifier. Also, we do this for all our company operated wells, all the OBO wells, and the competitive data, which is basically public data. In our case, it's only IHS for now. Then now TDM basically what it's doing is supporting our ability to make business decisions and try to improve data quality and consistency and provide a central trusted source of the data. So that was basically our 2016, and then early 2017, management, CIO and upper management said, okay, we need to build a well data program. What can we do there to help us keep pushing this and leverage TDM? So we built this program where we have TDM sitting basically across different systems and application or data types. And these were our focus areas, more on automation of well creation, well maps, search, what I call well search, just making the data accessible, digital oil field dashboards, which is basically helping them with some data quality dashboard, and equipment maintenance. At the end of the day, what you want is clean and reliable, easy to access, and ready to use for reporting and analysis. So one of the things we did starting in 2017, and I'm guilty of this, so we tried to map a little bit where, with the life cycle of a well, where wells was created. In our case, we had a big gap in this stage. So we don't have a system. We're building a system right now, but we didn't have a system to collect the data when your scientists put a stick on a map, basically. So we decided, well, let's focus on what we have. We identify the gap, and then we have to work backwards in that direction. So what we did was, we said, well, what happens? IHS will say, oh, we got a new well, we'll fit into TDM automatically in the morning, and it comes with permit approved. When that happens, it creates a well in TDM. Then automatically send a notification, put something in basically a view that we have a well view process monitoring and creates the well in well view, and basically brings a bunch of data with it. Now, and the technician, and it sends basically an email to a technician saying, now you have a new well here in that asset. So the technician go and checks. So we work close with the well view team to see, okay, how many attributes you want to push there to avoid people entering data, because this is where most of the errors happen. So, and we keep increasing that now they only have to go and check everything and enter 5 attributes in that first time in well view. Once they do that, then the well becomes available for the whole asset and for the drillers. And of course, starts drilling. You might not ever get drilled, right? Because sometimes the permit expired, it gets well removed, things like that. That can happen, then we go back to the beginning. It depends on which state too, right? Because some states, instead of reusing the API number, they just issue a new one and the other one gets abandoned. So we get an abandoned well or abandoned location that was never drilled, which is fine. I mean, you just have to be careful. So the well starts drilling, and then basically when it goes to completion, we say, well, if the well is completed, well, we're monitoring that, and we build another process in an ETL tool, and we say, okay, the well is in completion stage, let's go and create it in program. And also we send a bunch of factors to program, which is our production system now, and send an email to the production data management team, and they'll get there and say, okay, they're finished setting up the well. So again, that way it's more efficient for everybody. At the end of the day, the well, of course, can go all the way to recompletion and go back to program and back and forth with TDM, create a new completion and things like that. And we keep capturing all these levels of the data in TDM for well boring completion levels. So we did this early in 2017, and some, like this one's still working, now this one is working on demand, but I tell you why, and it makes more sense in a second. Another thing that we built in early 2017, well, we brought it from 16 to 17, I wanted to make the data accessible. So this is kind of our internal portal in Marathon. And I wanted to be able, so people can go and search for well data. And in this case, we did was, we built a big, basically, view or table, and then we posted company-operated wells and OBO wells. And then people can go and search, but it's only one level, so it's only showing well bores, basically. And we put certain information, just really minimal. I know you can't see, it's blurry. It wasn't on purpose, but, oops. Okay. It wasn't on purpose, but basically what we want is people to find a well, and then they can launch TDM and look at that particular well really quick. Also, they can see the well on a map and play with the layers, which basically are the ARC SDE layers that some companies pay with to other as a subscription, or we build our own layers. And also, we have in some cases, we have some production surveillance dashboard that we have built, and then basically it's a link to go to that other internal application, basically. So it helps in certain ways. So now you're making the data accessible. But to me, it wasn't still there. It was like we were missing a lot of stuff. And it wasn't that fast. It was okay, but it was a good start, let's put it that way. On the map side, it was basically mimicking everything that we have here. So it was also limited. We're only showing co-op and OBO wells, and we have a layer with the IHS public data, which is also there. But you can turn on and off some layers there. And when you go to the map, it will show TDM data, basically the golden record we highlight there and show you what is that data coming from, and you can show also from the production system. So that was kind of a first step. Other things that we did leveraging Wellmaster data, I told you about digital oil field dashboards. So this is another team. We just kind of work together to support each other. So basically, they start using the movie, so they bring for company-operated wells, and they monitor all the SCADA, and they produce graphs, and this helps the operation field people more than me. But they're using, at the end of the day, they're using the same well-heard data. So if so now you're exposing more data to more people, it's easier to find errors. So when something's wrong, guess what? They're gonna come back and tell us something to my team. Also, we built this in Spotfire, basically, and we put on the wave, and we're trying to monitor the quality of the data per asset. This is also to show how bad the data was or how good they were, it helps to monitor, but still we need to go and fix it. So it's not the thing with Spotfire in this case. I cannot go from there directly to TDM and fix the data or to the source system. But at least help you to see how healthy is your data. So currently, well, last month or this month, I think I built this in March. Anyway, we have built a bunch of integrations. We built integration with SAP with a basically financial table and with PRA tables. We bring data from IHS and deck, so commercial data comes into TDM. We have a dual. The green one is about to go live this week. That is why I put it today. so it's up to date. And what we want to do is like keep the data in SAP, at least the well name and the unique identifier and the API always the same, in sync. Also, we built some integrations using Informatica with geographics and OpenWorks and with well-view programming areas. Actually, with geographics, it's not Informatica, we built it on SSIS, but it's working. And so we're pushing data to different projects by assets, and Informatica is for the whole database. And we also, talking to LAN, at some point we decided, well, I mean, if we have better data for our wells, why don't we just regenerate out the layers, the same layers that IHS provides us in this case, and then we get better layers. At least for our mine data it should be better. For the public data it should be the same. So we started building that, and we're still cleaning up some hiccups here and there, but at the end of the day, what we want is to produce our own layers, and maybe avoid some fees and subscriptions, or save some money there, some costs. Some of the current efforts, I told you about production, the equipment setup application. I don't know if this application is another team, but we're working with them, so instead of monitoring the well when it goes to completion to creating the production system automatically, now we have an application that basically is a web-based portal that allows setup of well equipment in a single user interface. And basically, it reads TDM, but it interacts with all SCADA, ProCam, interacts with Lois, with SAP, SAP PM, and in this case, they can on demand go and create a welding program using our same process that we built originally. So they just call the process and send the data to TDM, but now it's on demand. And now, the good thing about it is that the accountability goes to the production team, because they know which well they want to produce, to generate in ProCam and all the SCADA network. So the advantage was that we didn't have to reinvent the wheel, at least for ProCam, so they just call our process. So in some way they gained some time there. At the end of the day, the objective of this application, which it has been rolled out to 2 or 3 assets right now, I think there's only 1 or 2 missing, is to optimize and automate the well equipment setup and improve the efficiency and speed of the process. Now, I wasn't happy of how we access the data. So that was our version 1. And then, you know, we keep working and talking to EnergyIQ and Anadarko and other companies and see how our other guys are doing it. So today we went live with this last month, right, Caroline? And we want the well search 2.0, I call it right now, but is to be the single access point for all marathon well data. And it's another big step, but still it's not what I want to be, but it's getting closer. So today in Marathon, everybody can search for information about wells through the search bar on the way, which is our internal web page. Again, well data is critical. The new well search provides more complete information for now all data, for plus 5 million wells or 15 million records if you think about well more completion. The benefits is faster as the current well search that we have, even though we're searching with millions, is the one-click access for other applications. So this is what we're building. We want to make links. When you find a well link to go to another application, then if you go 2 clicks, 3 clicks, you're there, and you can start working in your application. We also want the interface to be really easy. Everybody knows how to use Google, I hope. Everybody knows how to use Yahoo. Everybody knows how to use Amazon and Best Buy when they're buying stuff, right? You start filtering your data. Oh, I want to buy an iPad, and well, I want the iPad Pro. You start filtering, right? I want 128 gigabytes or whatever. That's what we want. And also, you know, Google, you have like tabs, and then you switch to a map view or to other views. So we wanted to have a map view too. But at the end of the day, it's single access. So we started to do a lot of advertising, and you can't imagine how much advertising you have to do even within your company. So I feel more like a salesperson within my company now than actually data management. But this kind of one slide that we use, and we said, well, spend less time looking for well data, more time using it. That's kind of a slogan. And then, here you are. Then he was telling me that we had that too, or similar, right? But I guess there's no Sue in this. Good. Okay, that's not a trademark or anything like that. So anyway, but at the end of the day, we wanted to use PPDM. So search, the new search engine, which is basically IQ Insights, and you can see a demo over there in the booth from AreaQ, to basically search and query the data from PPDM and expose it in a faster way and easy. So, but also we wanted to show commercial data, subsurface, operations, planning, financial GIS. And what type of data we're showing? Well, we want to show wellhead data, directional service, production data. Right now it's only public, what IHS provides. My idea is to also put my data there, the program, production data for our company wells and OBO wells that we're receiving through another service. And also provide information logs and tabs, which I was talking to IHS, and they say, oh, now you can probably download it from the internet directly, and then you can load it to TDM. And guess what? I can push it to geographics and open source projects. Technician doesn't have to spend time downloading data, loading data, this project, that project, keep things in sync. So we're saving a lot of people's time. So how well search works? It's pretty easy, pretty cool. You know, you can start tapping at typing some words here, and then start searching in all the wellhead table, and then start giving you results when you click enter. It has buckets on the left where you basically kind of pre-filter your data. In our case, we kind of selected the top 5 more usable buckets that the assets wanted. So let's say asset name. You know, if my asset is Eagle Ford, they wanted to have assets here, so they filter the data faster. Instead of 5 million, I can go to 2,000 wells, 3,000 wells quickly. But then these are buckets, kind of similar to Best Buy, how you buy in Best Buy or Amazon. Then you can remove the filters here. You have tabs here that they are actually linked between each other. So when you're filtering here and you move to a tab, which is basically logs or surveys right now, you can see what logs are available for that particular well or what directional surveys are available. And using these buttons here, you can download your data on Excel spreadsheet if you want to see that survey. You can launch PPDM. You can launch an Esri tool map that also comes with insights. We can also use a Spotify button, so basically export the data in a Spotify format, and then you just start working in your template. Also, we have reports. So basically, these are standard reports that AreaQ has built into that, but you can also customize your own reports. And I'm talking about scouting reports of a particular well. So in my case, what I'm telling my people is like, you don't have to go to Enerdeck if the data is already here. That's the way I see it. We can recreate the same report, scouting report, or we can customize whatever you need. So you can have top report, you can have directional survey report, you can have a production report, which is based on, right now, on public data. We also have plus minus sign here, where this is also customizable, and we're adding the most important head information, so they don't have to go to TDM. So what I'm showing here, I want to show, oh, I want to know what's my cost center for that well. There's your cost center for that. I want to see what is the working interest of my NRI for that well. We can put that there too. So that way, TDM is feeding all these, but they don't have to go and launch TDM because the data is accessible here. But even if they want to see more data, they just click this Excel spreadsheet and you can export it. So you can export production, logs, well header, surveys, yeah, everything, pretty much. If you toggle on this button, then you change to a map view, and then you can draw a polygon and say I want to. Oops. Okay. You can draw a polygon, then make a selection here and go back to the table, and then we filter the data, and it's really interactive. So it's pretty cool on that. Sometimes I think people probably might know better where they are located than looking on a table. Because the table, the challenge with this is a little bit training. You need to train a lot of people because people sometimes don't understand, well, what is in planning? Why do you have a completion? Well, in concept, that's where it's going. So I need to create a completion, and I need to create a well, or I need to create a well. So it's 3 levels automatically. And sometimes people get confused. So anyway, we're trying to basically promote clean and accessible data. We're basically, we are aiming this presentation for our well master repository in search. We're working really hard on maps and document management. One thing that we're trying to work with WellDrive in the future, and this year hopefully, is to try to bring the WellDrive data directly into PPDM, or actually into OpenText, which is our document repository, and expose it through search. That would be ideal. So then nobody has to load. Don't get me wrong. I don't have to send the people to WellDrive to download the data when the data is already accessible there on a daily basis. That would be beautiful. Also, that way I can load the data, the surveys, and logs into their projects. We're not there yet, but that's something that I have in my to-do list. Maps, we're working with LAM to make sure that they get the best layers available, especially the data that we own. They need to know when a lease was going to expire or not. There's millions of dollars involved in that decision. Data governance, there's another project that I support basically when we work together. It's another team, well, it's just 2 people, but they're dedicated to provide and establish a data governance along the whole company, across the whole company. And we're talking about data governance, this is like the big data governance. So they're defining application owners and at the asset level, and in IT, stewards of the data. And that way, I interact directly with that person, and they know it's their responsibility. When they go into that position, we might say, dream supervisor or planning manager, part of your job, you own PPDM, you own the decisions that are going to be made there in the future. And you need to keep your data clean and accessible. So that's what the data governance team is building right now is, I think we have WellView and TDM, and they're working on program and areas for governance too. But it takes time to get these rolling. So this is our roadmap. I told you the story where we are right now. We went live. We have some integration already built with what we call DRT, which is Drill Readiness Track. Kind of trying to fill that permitting stage gap that I showed you at the beginning. So we have some integration there. They're going live asset by asset. It's going to take some time to do that. We're, as I said, we're building the TDM2 SAP integration. I have to wait maybe another week or 2 to put this in production. We're also building a cost center creation form similar to what Hannah showed yesterday. That K2 form. So we're using K2. We're using several workflows and ETL tools. We're not married to one, honestly. We just try to work with the best one that we can find that fits our needs. So we're using K2 in this case to interact automatically with TDM and SAP to create, basically create costs, not create a cost center completely, because you have to go through some process approval in SAP, but at least right now I have a person dedicated to receive a request on the spreadsheet and then create a well in TDM, send the movie back to the people. So I want to eliminate that. We also have the WellDrive integration before the end of the year that we need to work on reserve systems integration. We're waiting on that one because we have a new reserve system. And right now we're producing a lot of areas program enhancement because people start asking, we need more data into area, we need more data into program, send this and send that, and that's what we're trying to work. Next year, I'm going to try to touch again some surface data. Oops. Backtrack. Oh, okay. So at the end of the day, we want to be able to leverage TDM as our corporate well master, that we can follow our well through the well life cycle, have a lot of automation. work with some surface integration, of course, applications. Bring all public data that we can, bring info, IHS, integrate with all our systems, and at the end of the day, the one is to expose the data in visualization, dashboard, maps, whatever fits the purpose of that particular asset. All right. So finally, some lessons learned. You know, I recommend early integration with SAP if you can. I think how Lloyd went that route. I think it's better. Data governance model. I mean, data governance. Think about. You can talk about data at itself at the attribute level and apply governance on that, but also think about the data governance as a whole. Leverage PPDM model, definition and standard. Why reinventing the wheel? You don't need to do that. Change of management. This is to me kind of the key, honestly. You need a dedicated resource to plan changes, training, communication. I mean, there's a lot of things to do there. And basically advertisement. I put that there because I'm giving a sales pitch every time in my own company. You have no idea how much effort you have to do there. So I'm happy that I had a person dedicated to my group, at least part-time, since summer last year, and the change has been substantial. I mean, amazing. So this is key. If you don't have this, it's gonna take you forever, the adoption. Developers with well life cycle knowledge, these are really hard to find. Some people people are working in IT, they don't know anything about the well, honestly. They don't know how, okay, what is a well? I mean, they have no idea. So it takes time to develop that, and once you develop that person, you try to keep them happy. Don't let it go. Again, get involved with public databases, you know, basically API number, try to understand what the agencies are doing, and then try to adapt. It's really hard to make them change. And then do not underestimate the team effort, especially for legacy data. An example, we went live with SAP connection, bringing data from SAP in summer last year. We're still cleaning data today in SAP. It was 18,000 records we have in SAP, we still have 1,000 to clean. And because what is the main reason? When they set up the well in SAP, there was only a well name that probably you try to go and find that well name in public data, whatever, it's impossible. Who named that well at that point? When the well got permitted, you know, the name is 100% different. So it's really hard to go back and find it. And of course, then you sold an asset or something like that, you sold a well, it's like, what is it? And you can't find it. So it is, don't underestimate, usually take between minimum 3 months cleaning all the way to a year. And that's it.